So hello everyone, welcome to the Zoom meeting. Today we will discuss some different topics. Dr. Mafaz is going to talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and how we can use this. So welcome everyone, and it's going to hand it to you, Dr. Mafaz, when you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nader. Good evening, everyone. Let me share my screen.
Sure.
So AI is very important for us. It helps us with researching very fast and writing some research papers. So recently I stumbled upon something called SciSpace, and it's very helpful because it can help us write actual systemic reviews or literature reviews in a very short period of time, or it can help us also understand the summary of a topic. So for example, if I search the effects of long COVID on geriatric patients, it can summarize for me the first top 5 papers, and I can get the summarized effect of long COVID in the geriatric population. So for instance, it says incidence of long COVID-19 among the Medicare patients has been estimated to about 30% hospitalized of COVID-19 patients developed long COVID symptoms, such as long flu, which is also referred to it, also similar to influenzas. So in a recent study done by our colleagues in the webinars, where they studied the long effects of COVID-19 on the adult system, it affected the cardiac, the nervous system, and musculoskeletal system. So this program or this website can help us understand the summarized effects of our study topic, and also kind of help us access the related topics in an easy way. So it's an endless form of library in a single place. And if there's more information needed, we can ask them, this is the ChatGPT feature. So I can say system affected in long COVID-19. And this is its answer. From dyspnea to fatigue, palpitation, loss of taste, smell, neurocognitive symptoms, delirium, skin manifestations, wound healing, and also the risk increases with age, fertility, and other geriatric syndromes. So this is one. And also another system or another website is Zotero, which was introduced by one of my colleagues at the Geriatric. So this website it can also serve as an encyclopedia where you can save all the research topics or research papers that you have collected, and without losing the research paper that you have collected. So I can search for PubMed. When this is where the source of my paper is, or my search engine is. So I can search again long COVID-19 in geriatric. And let's say it's 2023. And this is my area of interest, or this is the topic that serves all of my inclusion criteria. So I can easily take the DOI or the PIMID. So I'll use the PIMID, copy it, and then once I go to my library, I can add, for example, here I'll say COVID-19. I'll name a folder for the study that I want to add. So I have made a new folder. I'll use the plus sign or this, and this is where I can paste my ID for the research, and once I add it, I can find the paper. And this is very excellent because it gives me the whole abstract where I can use the abstract written and add my own notes. So it's easy for me to have the main report as well as my intake and how it serves in my research and inclusion criteria. Does anyone have a question? Of course, when it comes to using the paragraphs as it is, it can be an issue with copyright. So usually once you read it and have the exact information, you have to paraphrase it once or twice to um, stray away from such issues.
This is great. Thank you so much, Dr. Mafaz. Any questions? So we can use AI, and it seems like some of the journals actually wants us to use it, and some of the institutions encourage the students to use it. But as you mentioned in your last sentence or two, that you can use it as a tool, but you don't use it to create everything for you. So you can use it to collect data, summarize articles, for example, and then you can use your own text or language, or you write on your own words what's going on, so that it can be assigned to you, or you are the responsible for what you have written as an author. So I think it's a very useful tool, and I think we should use it more and more. And thank you so much, Mafaz. So do you use it in your own practice or with
Yes,
your
I have
groups?
actually recently used it in the e-cigarette topic as well as the long COVID-19 for the pediatric patients. So it was very helpful as we were able to locate the systems that were affected. So we found so much cardiovascular effects such as Kawasaki disease, which was similar to the effect of it, as well as immunological disorders and the effect on the nervous system, which was similar to Gilbert syndrome. So it was very useful and it's very quick, I would say, as well as Zotero, because Zotero has a different system as we can all have a shared feature. So we're all able to see each other's reports, and we're able to keep tag on each other's system affected in the long COVID topic. So it's very useful.
That's good. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I think it's very useful tool as well. There's Zotero. There are other tools similar to that. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. EndNote is the paid version of a similar product. So it's kind of, as I mentioned, it's a library that you collect whatever reference that you found, and you can save them in a folder or a collection. And then you can look that up as far as abstract of that journal or article. And then if you want to go deeper, you can get into the article itself or the whole text, and you can find whatever information that you want to use. Mendeley is another one. It's different. It's also, I think, part of it free, but all these are tools that you can use for reference finding or reference management, as far as helping you when you write something, you have the backup of the resources that you are using, or references. The good thing about Zotero or EndNote or Mendeley is that it will save your references. Let's say you want to write an article about long COVID, so you start with the introduction and then the second part about whatever we thought of. So when you are writing about the incidence or the prevalence or whatever, the effect of COVID, you need to put some references. So you will write your sentence, you put the reference to reference number 1. It will be saved in Zotero. When you are submitting your poster to a journal, your manuscript to a journal, they want to put your reference in a certain form. So they want you to put the name of the authors, but up to 3 authors. If the article has sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So in Zotero, you will have your references, and when you are submitting to journal number 1, they may ask you to use APA, for example, reference type. So you just ask the Zotero to format your references to the APA. And I'm going to show you some. Let's say I'm searching for the and share the screen here. Let's say I'm searching for something and I found this article here, mobile applications for caregiver of all adults, quantitative content analysis. So this is a good reference for me, and I want to save that. So what I can do is I can look at the actions here. You can add it to the collections. So in Zotero, it's kind of a folder or collection type. You can do that. And in PubMed, they have the same feature. So I'm gonna just add it to Zotero, or in my case, I'm gonna add it to the collection here. So I log in and I put it with any of this. So let's say I log in with Google. So and it's gonna save it to me for me in a folder. And I can add a new folder, or I can use an existing. So let's say just by type this, and I can create this folder, and it's gonna be called mobile app. So it's already saved in this folder for collection. And when I'm using, let's say I'm writing, I'm gonna just share, let's say, so
Couldn't hear you, Dr. Nader.
So I'm gonna just, sorry about that. I'm gonna just use my phone. If you can hear me, it seems my computer has some issues. So I'm gonna just use a phone. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
So basically, you can use the Zotero or the PubMed to collect your references. And then the reference, you can put it in your text, but you can format it into APA format or Chicago format and different other formats. So if you click on Cite, it will show up how the reference will be written. And then you can change that according to the journal needs. For example, some will ask for MA. So I'm gonna you look here, it's different. If you want to use APA, it's gonna change that. MLA is a different one. And then last one, MLM. So this is how you can use Zotero again to help you when you're writing your manuscript. So this is a simple way of using this tool. Thank you so much. Any questions? Anyone used Zotero, Mendeley, or EndNote, or PubMed as for collection and these features?
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, Dr. Nader, one of our group with Dr. Rayan and Dr. Mafaz, when we, preparing for the research the webinar about the long COVID in children. So Dr. Alina, she showed to us and she explained to us how to use it, and it's very useful, and it's like saving time, even it saves time. So yeah, I recommend all the colleague to try to use it, and it's helpful also. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Haka, for sharing. Dr. Munir, go ahead. Anyone else?
So again, if you want to use AI tool, let's say you want to write or to start a new project. So you can use AI, ChatGPT or Bart. So I'm gonna show you how to use Bart, google.com. So you go to bart.google.com and then you can come up with a question. So I'm gonna just pretend I'm a student and ChatGPT is a professor. So I'm gonna ask him, so you are a professor in internal medicine. I'd like to start a research project. Can you help me identify area for the research interested in dementia and sleep? So I just give him the area where I'm interested in, and he will direct me to some of the research questions that may help. So here, he identify the area. For example, there are some by the direction relationship between both sleep and dementia. So does sleep or poor sleep contribute to dementia risk? So this area has been studied, but maybe there is some gap there. And the other question is, does dementia cause sleep disturbance? So which one affect the other? So there is also some research work done. Let's say I'm interested in the first question. What's the risk of sleep as far as dementia goes? So we can you elaborate more on question one? So I'm gonna just ask here. Can you elaborate on number one? So maybe the AI can give me more information. So here and underline the mechanism more. So let's say I'm interested in the risk of short time of sleep in affecting dementia or causing dementia. So does short time of sleep lead to dementia? Is this researched? So I'm gonna just focus on one area. If so, numerous studies have been found linked between insufficient sleep and dementia. So I'm gonna ask them, so what's the gap on research gap, for example? So what is the research gap in this area? So my interest will be in finding what they found in the literature, what the AI can collect in the literature, and then figuring out what the gap that I can get into. So my research question will address this gap. So here we can see causality and correlation. So while studies showed strong association, still there is some lacking definitive proof of causality. So there is no cause and effect relationship between both of them. So more research is needed in this area. So I'm gonna just use this as a basis for my research question. I'm gonna, let's say I want to start a systematic review about the relationship between the sleep and dementia. And if I want to be specific, maybe I can add a specific group of people. In my case, I'm gonna say in older adults. So, so my research question would be, assisting you. I'm gonna ask just to confirm that it's a good idea. And we'll see how that will come up with. So let's say the AI mentioned that it's a good idea. And I found that to be a good research project. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just discuss it with my group. If I don't have one, I'm gonna just open it for people who are interested in geriatric in general, neurology, internal medicine, anyone who's interested in doing a new project. So I'm gonna collect or invite some of the fellows to work with me on this kind of new project idea. So if they are formed, then you can work on the next step. So the next step will be, I have the question, I can go ahead with my team. So one of the question will be, or one of the tasks will be, let's get together and we can use the method. One method is literature review or systematic review. Let's do that as a group. So maybe 2 3 will do that. And then 2 or 3 will focus on getting the writing aspect of it. And 2 or 3 will identify what type of end product that we want to finish. Let's say you agree we want it to be a poster. So it's kind of be an abstract that we can submit to a conference. So it's an easier, shorter, and maybe faster way of publishing. So this group will look out for conferences that meet this idea. So one of the conference might be Alzheimer's Dementia Association annual conference. It could be a local conference. It could be sleep disorder conference. It could be general medicine conference. Like here in the Midwest, they have their internal medicine Midwest annual conference, regional conference. So you can identify what conferences that you want to approach. Then that team member or members will look at all these conferences, will get information regarding the deadline, the area of interest for these conferences. And the last part will be the people who will finalize the product and submit it. So like submitting author and so forth. So this is how the team should work, and then collecting the information, write the abstract, submit it, and hopefully soon you will hear good news. And then who will present how that will be done in person or virtual. So this is how you can use AI to get a research from an idea and find the gap and then build the team and so forth. So let me hear what you think, guys, if anyone of you wants to share or ask question or discuss. Thank you. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Nader.
Alaikum salam, Dr. Sahar. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. So, Dr. Nader, so I don't understand exactly what to do after I find the, for example, you mentioned the research, like the relationship between dementia and sleep. So how exactly should I take my paper from that? Like, should I like look into other research, or just like from one research I can like do? And I don't understand exactly this point, like how what to do after this point.
So
Like if
the critical point is how you can find the area of interest. For example, you found it between the relation between the dementia and the sleep. So the question or the research question is, how can I address a gap? So you're thinking of what is not searched or what is not done, that so that you can do it. For example, you want to look at the literature, see how many papers talk about these two topics, and what they reach, which group of patients they studied, and so forth. So if all you found is there are a lot of studies, but they look at younger people, not a lot studying older people, maybe your area would be identify the gap in older people. So you will say, I'm going to study the relationship between sleep and causing dementia in older people, and I'm going to do a literature review in that aspect. Let's say just a simple way of thinking. So when you have your question, your target group, and your method, this is what you need as a basis for the research project. So you have the question, you have the method, how you do your research, and then you build the team around that. So whoever interested in that area or topic or research question, they can join you. One of you will be the leader for that group, and the idea is the leader will divide the group of the fellows in that team for that project to divide the task between them, so everyone will participate somehow. Some might have time to do a lot of things, and some might have skill of presentation, or some might be local to a conference. Let's say Alzheimer's dementia conference will be in next time in Alabama. And if one of the fellows lives there, maybe they can join so that they will be the person to attend that conference in person and present in person, if that makes sense. So you find your team, and then you identify the task and divide the task between the team members so that everyone can contribute to the project. They know the process, and they can say, I want to do the literature review, I want to do the writing, I want to do the presentation, I want to do this. After all involved are agreeable to the plan, then everyone will handle the task they assigned to. And you keep an eye on, hey, can you finish this by 2 weeks? Can you finish this by whatever? So that you can meet the deadline in doing that, if that makes sense so far.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Hadi. So the main thing is for me is to look for a question or an area that is not looked very well. I can like make some work in there, and mainly so just to use PubMed, so to make sure there's is there research in this area or not, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You are right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Nadi.
You're welcome. So this is a simple way of doing things, and you can do things differently. There is no right, wrong way. It's like looking at literature. One of them is PubMed, but you can look using other tools or other database out there. So we want you to know how to do it in one way, and then down the road, you will find, hey, people are doing it different ways. Why don't I learn this way or that way? So you'll be expert in that, in doing this type of research. And it's the same with case. Let's say one of you is practicing in Saudi Arabia, and they have a very good case, and they want to present that case. So if that case is interesting enough, we can talk about why don't we create a team so that we can present that case as a case presentation in the conference. So the team will identify that case to a conference and see if they accept similar cases in the past, and if that case presentation will match the theme of that conference. So the team will sit together, write the poster, submit it to the conference, and see if they accept. Then the team will decide who will be presenting that case in the conference, if it's in person or if it's virtual.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Nader. That was
Yeah.
very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sahar. Any comments from the people who presented in the past who finished their projects or research? Anyone of the people here today? So maybe Sarah Abdelrahman. So you are interested? Go ahead, Sarah.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Nader.
Alaikum assalam.
At the first, I thought there is like a specific research, but now I learned that I have to search for a subject and then from there work and have other group members, and yeah, I will definitely search on that, and I find that part is very interesting and very helpful. And I think, yeah, it will save a lot of time.
Oh, sure.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
You're welcome. So I see that Dr. Ayat also is interested. Maybe you and Dr. Ayat will work on getting some, if the same topic or similar topics, to get a research idea or research question, and then you can start your team, both of you, if you are interested in the same area.
Definitely.
Okay. And Dr. Moran was asking the chance for dentist. Yeah, why not? So you can work with them also on this topic, or you can create your own research question and project, and then invite others to join you in your team. So Dr. Amel, can you share?
Hello, Dr. Nader. Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry, my voice is not so good. I'm coming down with the flu, but I'm going to try. Okay, just a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, hi, everyone. I'm so happy today to share with you that we have completed our emergency mobile application. It's called Salama. For those who do not speak Arabic, Salama means safety. So let's get into it. This is the first app I participate in 2024. So this one is special. So this is the main page. We have two main features in our application. We have the health information guide and the ambulance contact numbers. So let's start with about the app section, which is the section that we usually start with. Here we just, as usual, included a brief description of the application and what are the main features. Here in the health info guide section, we try to include the most commonly or the most common emergencies that can face the general population and how patient or bystanders can act in this situation. So we included the diseases or situations like chest pain, emergencies related to diabetes and hypertension, renal colic, diverticulitis, and so on. So if we click on the chest pain, the first one, we start with a video just to as an instructions how to act in this situation. And then we included a text as well. And it's the same case for other situations as well, like let's say choking. Also included videos and text. If I play the video, it shows just like a scenario and how the bystander acted in this situation. I'm not sure if you can hear the voice or not, but the videos are available on YouTube. So this is just briefly how it acts. And then the other main feature is the ambulance contact numbers. This is so interesting because we added almost all countries around the world that have emergency medical services. I would like to thank my team for helping me with this page. It took some time, but they did a great job as a teamwork, and we were able to complete this page in just 1 day. So let me show you how it works. So if I click here, let's suppose that I'm living in any country like Australia. If I click on Australia and I want to call the ambulance, it shows the Australia and the emergency medical services or the ambulance number for that country. And then I can call, sorry. So let's call that number. Sorry for that. Let's pick another one, Afghanistan, for example. Yeah, and then it takes me to the calling screen and I can call that number and call for the ambulance. I also can search for the country. I don't have to do like this. For example, I'm living in Saudi Arabia. And then I can call. So of course, I'm not going to try because I'm in Saudi Arabia currently. The other feature is the disclaimer. And then we have the authors here. So this is all about our application. Thank you so much for listening. I apologize once again for the voice. If you have any questions or comments or things that you think we should add, please do not hesitate to come off mute and speak about that. Thank you so much.
This is excellent, great work and great product. I think it's very useful. Excellent.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nader.
You and your team. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. So soon, inshallah, it will be available on the Play Store. Currently, we are preparing the icon and the privacy policy, and we are trying to upload the application today or tomorrow.
Excellent. Good luck with that, and wishing you all the best. That's great.
Thank you so much.
So if you don't mind, Dr. Amar, can you just share with us the steps from the idea and how you create the team and how you identify the task and how you shared or you distributed or you identify the task and the people who will do what and deadline for that and the product completion of the and then what you are doing now, like you're gonna do the submission to. So just the big steps as far as this was a new idea, a new project. So we want you to share with the fellows here how this came into existing and what the steps and who identify which like team and the task and who will do what and so forth.
Yeah, sure. So this idea, it wasn't my idea actually. So it started when our leader, I'm not the leader for the project. The leader is Dr. Hana. Actually, Dr. Hana is not actually a member of this fellowship. She's a friend of mine and she's an emergency medicine resident at in Qatar. I forgot the institution. Yeah, it's Hamad Medical Corporation. Yeah. So she just started. She revealed or reviewed our INR application and the blood pressure, and she liked the idea so much. So she had the idea of making an emergency educational application, and she was just chatting with me about that idea. It wasn't real at that time. That was about a month ago. So she asked me if she want to do this application in the App Store, Apple App Store first. So we contacted the developer and we just gathered the information and delivered that to the developer. But as I told you before, it was very expensive and we couldn't actually afford that. So we decided to proceed with the Android version of it. So we started about a week ago, and the team, part of them are from the fellowship, actually most of them, 80%, and the other 20% outside the fellowship. So we divided the tasks between us, and every team member took a specific task, and this was a teamwork. And we worked together in about a week. We were able to come up with the idea and with the project completed.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
So again, the fellowship or this program is about empowering you guys, every one of you. It's not going to be done by one person, whatever idea or research. I'm not saying that it's not possible. Some of the fellows here, they did some of the project from A to Z. That's absolute. But you need some time, you need some experience, you need to know what you are doing and so forth. But as we get along, let's say you want to learn steps or you are in mid-level, you want to complete some. So if you don't have the full time to spend, you can have the help from others. And by doing that, actually you offer them opportunities for them to improve and advance as well. So each one in the team that you created will benefit from that. So it's going to be two-way, or the benefit for it's going to be for both the one who come with the idea and the one who participate in developing and completing the whole project. And this can be either within the group here in the program, or we can do collaboration as Dr. Amel and our friend did. So you can do a project that shared between these fellows and other members in the medical community. So, and we encourage that. It's going to be beneficial for both the fellows in this group and the ones who are practicing outside, whether they are already in residency, whether they are attending physicians, where they are in the the same boat as far as they want to apply for residency or so forth. So collaboration between any group will be encouraged, and actually it's going to be meaningful and useful and efficient if you are doing the whole team will work together instead of one person doing the whole thing. I used to be that person in the past. I used to kill myself to get things done. But in the past, I realized that it's not always the case in medicine or in this part, like in research, in doing major things. You need to have some support, some collaboration, and thinking of sharing ideas and dividing tasks so that someone else will contribute. No matter how small that contribution or big, when you put it together, it will be very useful. So I'm trying to expand the program so that we can get more projects done and more collaboration. And Dr. Ahmed, he comes here. He is from Mayo Clinic. And the idea of this program actually came from another guy. He was in Mayo Clinic in the past. And he created something similar to this for physicians who come to the US and who are interested in going to surgery. So I stole that idea and I wanted to create this program for geriatric, but we open it for anyone who's interested in research in any field so that you can learn the whole basics of research and other skills, like personal skills, so that when you join residency, either medical residency or dental or any other type of clinical service training, I think you will be able to start your own research project. You can start collaborating with others, and you can do things faster than if you want to do it alone. So I thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, for sharing this idea, this project, and how you did it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Thanks for sharing. By any chance, Dr. Ahmed, do you know what happened to the team working with the renal, the kidney application development?
Yes, so about a week ago, I think the team leader contacted me, and she like they are still lost about what to do, but I promised them that I'm going to help as soon as possible with the application. So inshallah, soon we'll be able to get done with it.
Sounds good. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Dr. Amal or in this area of app development?
I just want to add, like, don't hesitate if you have any question about how I developed this and like any feature of the application. I would be more than happy to discuss this with you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amal.
You're welcome.
So I think it's a good field that we can touch on, similar to the AI. It's a new field and it's very challenging and it's moving faster. So with the mobile app area, I think we have an area that everyone can contribute if you can bring out ideas and so forth. One of the specific area that I'm interested in, maybe you can help with that, is not only developing the app, but how you look at from the user perspective. Nowadays, you have the wearable, you have the watch, that's smart watch, that you can use it like the phone, basically. Clicking it and then it will do stuff for you. It can do the blood pressure, the heart rate, the oxygen, fever, temperature, and so forth. So this is also a specific area for mobile app where you can think about how can we use these wearable devices for whatever group, older, elder, younger group of patients, and we can use the technology to develop a certain app that can be useful for this group. So, for example, this app, if we want to modify it, a version that's can be, I know I don't think it's available yet in the Google Play, but in Apple Store, they have a section for Apple Watch app development or section. So if this is a useful tool, the app that you just showed us, the emergency, so instead of the people carrying their phone and then clicking what else, and so I'm in an urgent situation, someone has heart problem or whatever. So I know how to do that, but I need to call. So with a watch, you can just click and it will call the ambulance, for example, something like that. So we can think of how we can not only develop an app that can be used in the computer or the iPad or the phone, but also we can specifically target like the mobile devices or wearable devices, so that you can be more useful to the public or the group that you are targeting. So you think about not only from our perspective as physician and what's important and so forth, and sharing information, education, and training, but also from the user perspective as well. So what is easier for them? What's user friendly for them? What makes sense for them? So when Apple came, it was like Siri. So you click on the phone and say, okay, Siri, this is whatever I want to question. So it's kind of communication. So how can we take advantage of certain features and modify that so that we can follow certain, to target certain group. So Amal, did you think about translating that app, the new one, into other languages?
Yes, actually, the leader wanted to translate to Arabic as well. So yes, we are going to start the Arabic version soon, and I will include new members.
Excellent. So if anyone interested in joining the team working on this new app, that would be a great opportunity. And I'd encourage you also, Amar, if you can contact Myra, see if she is available, so that she can help you if she is interested and any other member who is interested in translating that into Spanish. I know she's fluent in Spanish or other languages. That would be also another option so that people can work on more opportunities. So
Yeah, that sounds great. I will contact Myra as well.
sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Oh, Dr. Haifa, go ahead.
My question is for you, from your experience and from Dr. Amal, about if we are gonna create an app, for example, diabetes for pediatric or the adult. Especially, we know that such these chronic diseases requires adjusting the insulin doses from time to time or whatever, like it depends on the situation. Could we create an app for these cases? Is it like, you think it's is there any specific criteria that's because we cannot create it because it's not unsafe, it could lead to maybe side effect or something, or we could create app, for example, because it's a chronic disease, and it's like it depends much more on the lifestyle and all these things. So could we create such app for those chronic diseases? Or if you understand my question, is it clear? Or
Yeah, I understand you. So, yes, you can create an application for any idea that you have, as long as you declare that this is not going to replace professional medical advice.
Of course,
So,
yes.
yeah, you should state that clearly. And of course, you should comply with the Google Play Store, conditions and terms, that you are not including inappropriate materials or, anything like that. But other than that, of course, it's very flexible. You can work on any idea that you have. But for the platforms that we are using currently, like Codular and the MIT App Inventor, like, unfortunately, they are not so professional. You cannot work on like any idea you have. I would say maybe like 85% to 90% of your ideas can come to reality. But maybe there is like 5 to 10% that you can do without using a professional programming language. But that doesn't mean you cannot do a great application. You can always come up with a great app that can help others.
Actually, if I want to do something, I will contact you.
Yes, anytime, of course.
Yeah. Thank you. جزاكم الله خيرا دكتور نادر دكتور أمل. جزاكم الله.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the question and good luck. Any other questions or any other ideas, comments, or suggestions?
So, Dr. Amal, first of all, thank you about your presentation. So I just want to ask, like, do you have previous experience in developing such app? It seems very sophisticated and complicated. How did you do it the first time? Did you ask for another someone opinion, or like how did you do it the first time?
So
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's a great question. Actually, I had no previous experience with that. I started a year ago when I joined this fellowship. Thank you to Dr. Nadir who introduced me to this field. So it was just a project, like any research project, and it attracted me a lot because it includes problem solving, and I'm that kind of person who enjoys problem solving, and that's why probably I like internal medicine as well because it includes diagnosis and problem solving. Yeah, I started with developing in another platform. And then I moved to this Codular and MIT App Inventor. And I would say I learned most of the skills. It was self-learning. I used YouTube and sometimes the community that have many developers. And then slowly I learned this. I won't say that I learned this overnight or in weeks' time. No, this was months' time. I would say it was trial and error. I made many mistakes, but eventually I was able to learn this. It's not complicated as it seems. Like, it's very easy and enjoyable. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Amal. You're giving us hope, like we can do it. I thought like it's very complicated, especially with people who have like medical background. We don't have like other background in such developing such program or apps. But thank you. At least we can do it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Amal.
You're welcome. Yes, of course you can.
Actually, I just want to share with you that the Codular or the MIT program that you just mentioned, they are making it in a way that's user-friendly. It's not very, very easy, but you have a learning curve. And my son goes to middle school or high school here, and I found that they are asked to do this task where they use something similar to Codular. It's a coding program, but you don't need to know the language of coding behind the scene. You just, it's like a puzzle. You take this piece, you put it with this piece, and then on the screen, you will see, oh, there is a ball. So you add another piece, and this ball will move. You add another piece, you will identify what the direction of that ball moving, something like that. So they are basically playing with pieces on the floor and the computer, and then the end result will be a screen product that the user can click on or move around or something. And I was astonished that even younger students here, they are exploring the same concept. Like my daughter in 4th grade, they are also asking them to do similar things. It's a game-like things, but at the end, the result will be a small program kind of. So it's not in itself, it's not a difficult thing, but it will take some time to learn it, and then you practice it, as I mentioned, by error. Like you can make mistakes, and then you can figure out how to solve these mistakes. So you want to do a task. So the user will click on something, and then it will link to a YouTube video. So you can create the bot on the bottom where they can click or touch or tap, but you don't know how to put the link underneath so that it can open the browser to a YouTube video, for example. So there are some people in the community for these two application or tools, Codillar or MIT, and you can ask them, "Boy, I want the user to click on this button, and I want them to be able to open or display or start that video. The link is there." So they will show you how to do it step by step. You can try it and see how you did it, and if it's successful, send them a thank you note, and you will be the expert in this area. If someone else asks the same question, then you will be, hey, this is the way to do it. So you can explain things to other people who are learning. I think everyone who has some time in this group, they can try it and play around with either Codillar or MIT. You can start with basic idea. So you want to put, similar to the page 1 of the app that Amal described, let's say you want to put 3 or 4 icons where they can click on this. First one will be about the app. You just want them to go to a different screen and then read about your idea of the app. So if you want to do that, how can you do that? So second tab or second icon or button will be leading them to explanation page or interactive page or whatever. So how do you do that? So in Codillar, they call them screen. So screen 1, screen 2, screen 3. And then screen 1, you have buttons you can add, and then each button will be linked to open a new, you go from screen 1 to screen 2, something like that. In Apple development, if you want to do that, it's kind of complicated, but the same method, instead of calling it screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, they call it different. Let's say it's page 1, page 2, or page 3, or something like that. So you can move from one page to another. In Codillar, you can move from one screen to another. So the terminology might be different from one type of programming to another, but the idea will be the same. So the idea is you create a page or a display or a screen where you have some icons. In your computer right now, you have small squares. Each square has name and small name, and the icons that say muted, for example. Some of you have the images of photos of, and then my video, you can see me moving around. So this screenshot can be a display for your new app. And then instead of putting the names, you can put topics. For example, You can put internal medicine here, you can put family medicine here, you can put pediatric, psych, neuro, whatever. So the user will be international medical graduates. They want to know more about residency in the US. So they will look at this and say, oh, I'm interested in internal medicine. So they click on the internal medicine. That will take them to another screen. So that screen will be a different view. You can modify that view. Or they can call it a page, or they can call it whatever. But that page will have more information for internal medicine. Let's say they want to know about what's the difference between this and that. So you can put a question about the difference between being a resident or being a fellow. So you can just explain that. Or you can create a link to a video talking about what's the most topic in internal medicine, or how to prepare for the board in internal medicine, something like that. So the user will have the screen, and the screen has the icons or the button, or in this examples, the squares. And then when they click on that square, it will lead them to something else, if that makes sense. So your job is to come up with the idea. I want to develop an app that will give more information for residents or to become residents, new graduates, or they want to be in training in the US. So you will think about what programs, type of programs, you put it in screen one, and then you collect information about program number one, more information, maybe more video. This will be in screen two. Then program number two will go to screen number three, something like that. This is very basic, but if you want to advance it, you can go all the way to make it user with interaction, like a game. So like the ball going up and down, you can scroll and it will hit something, or you can do calculation. So they can add, for example, the BMI. You want them to add their height, their weight, and there are two different ways. So their height can be in centimeters, or they can be in the US and they can use feet and inches. So you put them, give them a box that's empty and tell them put the height, and then they can select which like unit. Is it centimeters or inches and feet? And same with the weight. So they can put the weight in pounds or kilograms. And then behind the scene, when they click get my BMI, then you will have the machine or the computer or the phone will calculate behind the scene, multiply the equation and so forth, and display the BMI for that user. So your BMI is whatever, 25 or 30 or 40. And then along with that, when they display, you can add some tags or some warning or some text to tell them what's going on with these findings. Let's say the BMI is 16, so that means they are underweight. So you can say, oh, since you are underweight, let's figure out what's going on. Do you have problems, or you are not eating well, or whatever? If they say I'm eating very good, 100%, maybe there is thyroid problem. So you may need to advise them to seek medical attention or something. If on the other side, their BMI is high, then you can ask also, hey, BMI is high, what's going on? Are you eating double portion, or do you have diabetes? Do you have other family history, something like that? If they say yes, then you can refer them to see their physician. So it depends on what your idea of developing the app, and then share that with the group. And then if you want to learn how to do it or work as a group to develop it together, then that will be easy to be done, and hopefully soon you will have a product. So I didn't follow the chat. Anyone in the chat has? Okay. Any questions? Any comments? Any
So, Dr. Nader, I just wanted to add that actually the most difficult step is not building the application, is not the coding itself. The most difficult step is planning, is having a clear plan. So if like any one of the fellows like have a clear plan about what they want to do, and I mean by a clear plan, a very detailed plan, even with the colors, the sizes of the buttons, everything included in the application, then they can build the application in basically like less than 1 week if they just have the plan clear.
Sure. Thanks for sharing, Dr. Amel.
You're welcome. And I can just briefly share how I developed the homepage, just
Yes.
yeah, to show that this is not complicated.
Sure.
Okay, so this is the page I showed you, and this is the page behind the scenes. So the platform itself contains 2 main features. The first one is the designer interface, and it's the easier part of building. So you are just going to pull from here. For example, I'm going to add a button here. And just I'm going to add features like I want to add a name, like let's create the above button again, like for example, about the app. And of course, you can add any name you want. And then you can change the colors and sizes from here. So I want this color. And the width, in Codular, the width acts in percentage. So you have to add like 70 and then add percentage. And also the height, I wanted like 10%. So it's very easy and very flexible. You can almost like do any design that you want. And about the background, we designed the background in another application, or I think it's called Figma. And then we upload it to the platform itself. And then we chose from like any page or any picture you upload it to the platform, it will appear here. And then we click on that and we change the background image. So it's very, very easy. So after adding all the buttons, so I'm just going to delete this one. After adding all the buttons and images, so here comes the coding part of it, and it's not that difficult as well. So let's focus on this part. Like here, this button is called button 1. As you can see here, I want to ask button 1 or the application itself, whenever a user clicks on the button, take me to another page. So it's very self-explanatory. You are going to search for button 1 from here. So this is button 1. You would click on it. And then it shows a set of orders. The order that we want when button 1 click, I want to do something. So the same as here. So after that, when I click on button 1, I want to open another screen. So opening another screen comes from another place, which is the control. So the control also contains many conditions. So here I want to open another screen and the screen name appears here. So I will, like you will stick them together just like Lego pieces. And then here it shows all the screens that you have on the application. So it will ask you which screen do you want me to open. Of course, because the button is about the app, I want to go to the about the app page. And this is how it works. Of course, some features are much more complicated, but it's not also very difficult. It just needs some practice, like adding the ambulance numbers. Sorry, it's a little bit slow. Yeah, so maybe this was the most difficult part of it. It's not difficult because it's complicated. It's not complicated, but it took some time because we added almost all countries around the world. So yeah, it's the same. It works the same. So you are just giving orders. So I want when button one click when call. Sorry for that. So when I select, for example, Afghanistan, there is something called activity starter. So the activity starter will start certain activity. In this case, it's called telephone. So this is like programming. When you write the word tel, the program will understand that you want to call some number. So here you will write the number of that country, and then you will write some form. It's called android.intent.action.dial. I want to dial that number, and you will ask the like button to start the activity of calling that number. I hope you understand my point. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask.
So as Dr. Ahmed mentioned, the learning curve, you will learn it. It just takes some time and you practice a little bit. And then you start with simple task or simple way of developing the screen and the button and the first action. And you start with a basic minimum task, and then you build complex one, as you mentioned, how to from tapping or clicking on one button, you let the phone create a number and then dial that number. So as she mentioned in the tutorial of the last screen, there are a couple of steps to do that. It's simple, but for a newcomer, it's kind of complex. So I want you, if you have time, to play around with the first the basics things. And then as you get familiar with these tools, either Codula or MIT, then you build on top of what you learn, and then you get into more complex cases. So when I started with this Codula, that's a couple of years ago, I started to build an app where my daughter can paint. So I will just display black and on white kind of, let's say, a flower. And then she has the ability to select a color, and then with her hand she can color the flower, for example, the leaf and so forth. And I can modify the background. Instead of a flower, I can change it into a tiger. So it's very simple, and I just created it because I found someone created something similar. So from the community, I asked and I found someone did that. So I pretty much I did copy and paste wherever they showed me. So I created my own, and my daughter was just playing around with that. So you can do the minimum or the basic thing. It's not difficult, as Dr. Mentioned, but it needs you to play around, to have some time, and then build on what you learned. So as you go along, it's going to be a little bit complex, and then your ideas will be more clearly, and then you will look at different perspectives. So Dr. Ahmed mentioned there are two tabs up there. One of them, the screen display. So this is what the user will see and what the user will interact with. And then the other part is where the computer or the phone or the coding part will take actions. So the user will click, then the computer or the phone will do something, either transfer to another page, another screen, another view, or in the last demonstration, like you will display the number for 911 in the US, and if you click, it will dial that number from the phone. it can get more complex. My other daughter in high school, she was asked to develop an app where our idea is to use a hat or a headphone, and that will, with movement, can detect which side, what direction, and then depending on these movements, they can interpret this into the screen and then act on it. So if I'm turning my head this way, the screen will identify the numbers, and then they can use these numbers to get an action. And that idea was to develop a headphone for patients with paralysis. So if they want to communicate, they can use the headphone and their head movement to do certain things. So it can get more complex or complicated if you want to go advanced all the way. But in our level, I think all of us, we can learn the very first steps, as Dr. Amal showed. Let's try to build the page one and how to transfer from page one to page two, or screen one to screen two, or the first view to second view. And then when we are successful in this development, this is good news. Step one is like the research part itself. So the most important part in research is your idea and finding the gap or coming up with a research question. If you have that, you are almost 50% of your project, because the rest is how you find out the method and how can you apply this method to get some results. And then the last part would be just putting pieces together so that you can get your abstract submitted or manuscript in place so that you can submit it to a journal, something like that. So the last part will come into place when you learn the first part, which is a difficult one. So if you spend some time, I think you're gonna learn it and you can enjoy it when you have some success at the beginning. Don't you agree, Dr. Amal?
Yes, I totally agree with you. And I also want to share that the good news is that although this is not actual programming, but it's very similar to it. So if you are interested in the future to learn how to code like a professional, this will help you a lot. Yeah, it's very similar to it and contains many orders that are similar to actual programming. It will make it easier for you.
Agree. So I'm gonna try to get into the first topic we're supposed to talk about, but we have half an hour, so I'm gonna just share the screen. Hopefully the computer will allow me. So for the new fellows, what we do is we use our app to know, for example, which Zoom meeting we're gonna discuss. Let's say next week we'll have this, so this team will be presenting. The week after, this team will be presenting. So the team leader or the team members will look at this and then say, hey, I'm interested in presenting this. So I added some names here. They could be available, they could be busy. So the team leader or the group by themselves, they will discuss who will be available to present what topic, and hopefully there will be no problems. And the moderator or the team leader will organize the speakers and hopefully will update the app. And then either the team leader or someone assigned will moderate the Zoom meeting for us. This will be for next week. So I hope people in that team, they will be ready and contact the team leader and see if she's available. If not, someone will act as a team leader and then organize the presenters. If there is problems, then you can, let's say we don't have any member of these teams available to present. There are preparing for stage 3, they have family issues, so they are not available. So your job is to discuss with the team leader to open it for the other fellows. Some of the fellows might be available, maybe some might be interested in certain topics, so they can just jump in and discuss and add their names here. So we have some speakers for the next meeting, and the meeting after that will be, for example, this fellow. So Dr. Mafaz with us. So your team, I added some names as well. So if they are available to take the task, that's well and good. If not, maybe some other fellows, and we can update this list. If, for example, they are not available, everyone, then we can open it to the other fellows that are available to discuss. We can add them and update this list of fellows. Let's say Dr. Mufaz is also busy during that time, wherever she's flying from one place to another. So she's not going to be able to moderate the Zoom meeting for us. So she can assign some of the fellows, maybe Dr. Abdullah or Dr. Batul is available. So Batul will put her name here, so we understand that. She will moderate the meeting, and then the topics will be presented by so and so and so forth. If you have questions, just ask the leader of that team, and then we can talk about how we can organize stuff. I know some of them, some of the fellows, I think Dr. Atif and other fellows were interested in presenting, and I hope they can contact the teams there, or they can reach out for the team members here and say, hey, I'm available. Do you want me to participate in any of the topics? It's just an opportunity that every one of you can take advantage. You will be able to present and improve your skills if you have any trouble presenting in public. We are a group of medical graduates, dental graduates, and other specialties. So we all want, every one of us want others to improve. So we are not critiquing you. We are not pinpointing what's your weaknesses, how you pronounce things, or you are shy, whatever. I think it's an opportunity for you to improve and to share. If you are expert, let's say, some of you are working in different, let's say one of you cardiology, and the topic about cardiology, I want you to jump and present and show us what you see in your actual practice, so that whatever we are presenting, it has a meaning, and you are sharing your experience with that topic. So without going in much detail, I thought I will work together to getting this organized for the next meetings. I'm gonna just talk about the topic we're supposed to have today is about nutrition in all the adults. And some of these topics might have the teaching slides already done here. So you click on that, and hopefully you can be able to open it. Or oops. It's going to be in PowerPoint. So I'm going to unshare and then share so that you can. So basically, nutrition in older adults is an important topic, and I'm going to go over the slides with you. These are teaching slides from AGS and the TGRF Society. And this information, I want you to take it so that you can oops. Seems like I opened the wrong file. Let's see. Give me a second, I will find the file here. So I'm going to share the screen. So, so what I want you is to go over the slides and see if you want to add more recent information, if there are some, or from your experience, if you have some something to add. So nutrition in older adults, you can use this first two slides to let us know what's the outline. So it's going to be introduction, related reviews, and so forth. And then last part would be what you want to tell us as a background. So in this example, we all know that older people are getting, the number is increasing basically all over the world. So in the US, we expect an increased number of older people. As your own, you will look at your family. You will have your parents or grandparents who are getting older. So this information we will discuss today, hopefully it will help you when you are dealing with your patients, or on a personal level when you are taking care of your parents or grandparents. So some of this information may be applied to you. Let's say prevention of falls. So you don't want your grandpa or your grandmother to have falls. So you want to educate her about whatever. In today's topic, we will talk about nutrition. So nutrition is very important as we get older. According to the WHO, older persons are susceptible to malnutrition. And this might be because of different factors. So what are the risk factors for malnutrition as we get older? There's no one specific risk factor, but collectively we can look at the patient from different angles. Some of the patients may have, let's say, dementia, so they cannot remember to eat. Some patients may be on multiple medications, so the medications themselves may let them feel, oh, I'm full, something like that. The taste, sense of taste may decrease, and so forth. So there are more than one factor plays, and even if the factor is small in itself, because we have a couple of them all together, they can cause the older people to eat less, if that makes sense. So for the dental graduates in this group, we can talk about loss of teeth. So if we can educate people since they are younger to take care of their teeth so that by the time they get older, they don't lose all their teeth. Some may have difficulty with swallowing. So there are some ways of improving swallowing. So when you eat, maybe you can just put your head down so that you can open your esophagus instead of up, so that there is a chance of aspiration or coughing during choking and during eating. So this kind of educational you can share with your loved one or in your community, for example. We can do literature review in all the patients. We'll find that some will have malnutrition. In some studies, maybe up to 19% or maybe more than half. So more studies to just document that as we get older, some will have some malnutrition. More studies in this area as well. And this is happening all over. So it's not in one, like we can call developing countries, but also in developed countries. More studies to come up with the same idea that we need to address it and see how we can identify this as a problem, identify the risk, and how we can modify this risk, and how can we manage in this population. So if you do the literature review summary, is that it's common as we get older, is prevalent in homes and in hospitals. It's also associated with mental disability or physical disability. How can we use some interventions to minimize the risk of malnutrition? So there are some ways of doing this. So I go to nursing homes. They have a member of the team. It's called a dietitian or nutritionist, where they look at all these people there. And they follow their weight and their PO intake and see how much they eat each meal. 100%, 75, 50, or 25 or less. And if they are in the lower part, what's the problem? Is it the food come to their tray, to their table cold, so they don't want to eat the cold meat, for example, or they want to drink and they don't have that drink available, let's say juice or water when they eat, so that they can swallow fine. So there are some things that people can do. They can focus the dietitian on the protein intake and how much we need as we get older. And sometimes you look at the comorbid conditions. So people might have wound, so their protein needs might be higher because they want to have wound healing and so forth. So you can also focus on not only the basic of the nutrition, but also the micronutrient, like the supplement, like vitamins and multivitamins and so forth. So if a patient has a deficiency, you want to identify that deficiency and hopefully you can fix it. Focus on the fluid. So you want to make sure they are hydrated, they don't get dehydrated, especially in areas like Saudi Arabia or Sudan, Africa in general. They may get hot weather, and if they don't drink enough and keep up with the need for the body, they may get dehydrated. So how can we help people in the family? We can monitor their eating. We can modify the diet so that they can eat better, or add some nutritionals like supplement, multivitamins, and so forth. If they have problems, we can figure out if it's a dental problem, they have pain, or they need to be seen with the dentist. They have issues with swallowing, and so forth. So there are ways of doing the assessment and how to help these older people get in shape, basically. Sometimes they may, so I had a patient who doesn't want to eat, and the reason because she gets the constipation. So if she has trouble going to the bathroom, she doesn't want to eat because she don't want to get in more trouble. So if we fix the constipation, maybe they will have a better chance of going to the dining room and eating, if that makes sense. So basically, this is a short version of malnutrition or nutrition in older adults. Do you have any questions, or do you have any comments or anything that you want to share as from your experience, from your practice? Please go ahead. I'm just gonna share in the chat the app link or the website for our app. If you don't have it, for the new fellows, you can use that as an app that we use for our program here. Any comments? So I think we can talk about updates. Any project updates for those who are working on some of the projects? Anyone wants to share with us? I know Nada, Tahruk, you and your team submitted an abstract to the Alzheimer dementia. It's a case presentation. Hopefully you will hear good news. And as far as the idea that you sent me, I think the first idea might be a good one. You want to share, or you want to, Nada, if you are there, Nada, Tahruk, maybe she left. Anyone else wants to update us? Dr. Mafaz, go ahead.
Yes, I had not my idea, but Dr. Ryan's team for the long COVID regarding the pediatric and its effect on the pediatric population. So currently we're looking at changing the systemic review topic from the effects on general systems and the pediatric to the effects of COVID-19 in causing precocious puberty in children, as it was found to cause precocious puberty with the theory regarding the stressful condition that COVID-19 had with the quarantine versus the actual effect on the pituitary gland, as in causing the precocious puberty. So that's the topic that she's considering, and she told me to convey the systemic review idea to you today. So we wanted to get your point of view.
I think it's a good idea. So if you want to start and look up, it's going to be systematic review, or it's going to be case, or
It's going to be systemic review.
yeah. So I think it's a good idea, and go ahead and get your team.
Thank you very much. We already have a team, so we're going to start with the systemic review. We had so many reports on the cardiac effect and the immunological effect. That's why she said it's better to find the rare effect, which is the precocious puberty. Yes.
I agree. So it's a good idea. Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other updates or anything else you want to discuss? So if not, then I just want to update you for the coming 2 weeks. Dr. Ahmad will be available during this team Zoom team meetings. I will not be available, but if you have any questions, I'll be available via email. You can just send me any questions or comments or suggestions by email, and we'll be in communication. And I'll see you after that. So I wish you all the best, guys, and good luck with everything that you do. Thank you so much for sharing and attending today's meeting. And thank you all. And I'd like to thank those who will look at the recording or watch the recording later. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Dr. Nader.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nader. Thank you, Dr. Nader. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Nader.
you. Thank you, Dr. Nadir. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Nader. Bye.